All right, it is August 1916, and we have to deal with Romania. All right, now Romania. Roll every 6 months, okay, so February is the first time. Now it is August, so now we have to roll. Joins the Allies on a 3 or less, and then we have joins the Central Power on a 12 or more. Dice roll modifiers are. It is August 1916. All right, so right now we have a -2, so the best we can roll is a 10. So there's no way at this moment Romania is going to join the Central Powers. All right, so we have -2 for 1916. Allies control Warsaw, no, so there's still -2. Each Central Power major city controlled by an allied player. We have 1. So that makes it a -3. The United States is in a war. -4. +1 Central Power controls Paris, so we got a -3. Each Russian city, major city, except for Lodz, controlled by the Central Power. They own 2. So we have a -2 to the die roll, I believe. So 2, 3, 4, 3, 1. Yeah, so -1 to the die roll. All right. Well, we rolled a 1. Okay. Okay, so on a 1, -2, that's a 0. Romania has joined the war on the side of the Allies. So, all right, so we just have to figure out what these guys are going to do. Now we know that they are joining the war, so that's going to be an interesting dilemma for the Austrians, because I can guarantee there's going to be troops marching up through the gut right here with Romanians. So it's not going to be fun. All right. Everybody, it is August 1916, Central Power's turn. The Germans turned around and did an attack on declared they're going to attack this tip of the spear for the Russian units. Did not realize when I declared that attack that was the best Russian units in the freaking game, and it did turn out so well. I thought I was attacking some of these other slightly minor, but this was the best army corps in the entire, or army group, the entire Russian army. So we had one group that was Germans were demoralized. They fell back. They took a couple corps with them, and in exchange, which not what the Germans need right now, and then left one Russian corps left, and Germans still parked right there. So they're sort of holding that right there. Due to the fact that they were going to be out of supply, the Germans fell back to get back into supply because they lost this rail line right through here, so they had to be connected over here. So they did extracted themselves off the line right here to get back into supply lines. So they're good now. Over here, since they lost that city, the Germans created a new defensive line right here. They're not in the offensive at the moment because they need to build up forces instead of losing them. And then over here, they railed down 2 army groups to do a blocking action outside of Budapest to stop the oncoming horde of red. The redcoats are coming. The redcoats are coming. So, yeah, here comes the Brits. And they have the tip of the spear, and they look like a soft underbelly of the Austrian Empire. It's not looking good at the moment. So, that is the full extent. Other than one battle over here, disarray over here, falling back, and then forming a new defensive line over here. So, I don't know. This might be one of those things where the Germans are going to dig in and do some entrenching to protect themselves the next turn. All right. we'll be back. Everybody, it's August 1916, Allies' turn. And right here, the Russians caught up with a corps that was right here for the Germans, and it was a massive battle. Lots of casualties on both sides. Basically, you can see there's one corps army group right here. It's almost gone, along with its artillery. You can see here's the butcher bill, a whole pile of stuff that's all dead. And over here, there was two battles, mostly exchanges. There was a Russian unit that attacked. These Russian units attacked the German unit that was there. Had some exchanges, and one demoralized. Two units got demoralized. They fell back to here, and there was an exchange. So both sides lost some corps. There was an attack that happened here. The end result was some exchanges happened, and some demoralized. So some troops fell back, and then the Russians broke out their cav. This is the cav racing down the rail junction to open up the roads. Should be here. That's can only advance at 3. There we go. That's the correct way it's supposed to look. And that is pretty much the extent of it. The Russians are just rampaging again. It's not looking good at the moment that these guys might get cut off. They might have to fall back to Riga and be resupplied by naval action. Over here, the Russians advance got online after taking Lemberg. They are pretty much okay, this has got to go. That'll be gone at the end of the turn. All right, so that is what it looks like over there. Now, the Brits and the Greeks are slogging it through the mountains. They did rail a few units up, but you know we're talking limited rail supply down here with Greece, and so you're talking only 3 corps can get railed up. So they railed them up to the front used the Brits to get up there because they're the best troops, and that's how far they could get. And they just crossed over the border. The cav is racing down the rail network to get the supplies going. Now, if they get too close over here, this will activate the Italians, so the Italians can start moving their troops. I got a feeling that their next turn they're going to be up on the border just waiting for something to happen to get close enough. They want Trieste themselves, but you know they might defend it and then take it later on. So it's hard to say what's happening. Now, the interesting thing is there's a massive army growing over here. There's a pile of Americans and some new Brits coming in from the colonies and everything. I think those are the Canadians. I'm not sure. Can't tell. Look like Canadians. No, that's Aussies. Who else is in here? Anzacs. So those guys are now parked in England. So who knows what's going to happen here soon? You never know, because the Germans, they pulled all their troops out of France to shore up the line over here and to create a new front. So the garrison troops are now gone. All that's left is just the minimum amount covering the major cities, and all the other troops have been pulled out. Their second and third line troops are now moving to the front after a year or two of being relaxing, drinking wine and cheese and stuff. All right, that's pretty much it for the Allied turn. I think I better check something. We got to go look at I'll be right back.